Wednesday night, we're all in sight. 9 o'clock, it's shining bright. Turn the dial and feel the might. Just enough Heshy takes flight. Woo! Laughs and wisdom side by side. Heshy show won't be denied. Tune in live and ride the tide. Feel the rush and feel the pride. It's just enough Heshy. Wanna vote for Heshy? It's just enough Heshy. Join the crowd, it's messy.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Just Enough Heshy Show. Did I do that good?
You actually did pretty good. You're on time.
You got to compliment me when I do good. I shouldn't be asking for a compliment.
Well, we're live on Instagram for a minute and a half. So
okay, well, make sure you check the 5 minutes. Did you check the 5-minute mark?
No, we have 3.5 more minutes.
Okay,
so
good.
One more.
I just want you to know it's been an interesting week, and all the polls and the future polls and the videos and the news reports getting to me. You know, it's just making me miserable.
You know, some people are actually telling me that you should put some odds in these polls for $1, $2.
Yeah. Put odds in the polls. Listen to me. You know, people like, you know, I went to a Muslim. Did you see that?
Yes, I did.
A Muslim interfaith with a Christian and a Muslim and the Pakistani, and they were so nice. I was the only Jewish guy there, and I didn't understand what they were saying, but I do remember every time they said the word Jew.
Yeah.
But they were so nice to me. They treated me well, and I was walking in. Some two guys, young guys, told me, "Where you going?" I said, well, they invited me. He says, who are you? I said, my name is Heshy. They're waiting for me. And I said, I'm here for the interfaith meeting. They said, really? You're the only one. I said, I got you. You know what? And I am the only one. And I made good friends with them. And I have many Pakistani and Bangladesh and Muslim clients. Matter of fact, I had one guy who came in today with his wife who was a born American Muslim. What a cool lady. And she doesn't like Mamdani.
Okay.
Because they understand, some people understand. I think that Mamdani is losing traction. I think that he hit his prime, and we'll talk about that.
Yeah,
but
I think there's a lot to talk about.
He did come into that. A lot of money.
Yes.
But I think people are going to figure this out, that it was some kind of I don't know, with some excitement, maybe just to have a good time and fun with him.
Well, it was kind of basically...
And nobody really votes in the primary.
Well, yeah, I think if you saw Cuomo's video, which we'll get into, he talked about only 13% of the population voted.
And the problem also with is that Cuomo didn't even take it serious. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he admitted that. He admitted that he basically
he thought he had it hands down. Why should I blow money? Blah blah blah. But Cuomo's always an idiot.
But that's reminiscent of what happened with AOC winning and all the blue wave.
But we can't get rid of AOC. We got to get rid of her. And
well,
I'm hoping that we do.
We're going to find out here.
Right, and I know there's another person in, I think, was it Arizona now or whatever, that another person voted just like a Mamdani person.
Yeah, I saw that woman who replaced, I believe, her father. Gajara or something. Good thing we don't have to worry about her.
But she won. Right, but but she won, and she
won the primary,
and she's not a Mamdani.
No,
that's very good. And they got all the Mamdani. The other side got all the Mamdani endorsements, and she didn't, and she won. So
I think Arizona is a lot different than New York.
I got you. But I still think that Mamdani his hype is over.
We're going to find out. I mean, right now, he's still in the lead in these polls. So if you believe him...
Where are we holding?
We're up another minute.
Okay, don't forget to it. So that's a few things we're going to talk about.
Yep.
I want to talk about Trump and the Epstein thing. And today, I'm pre-warning you. I have a funny story, not a joke.
No, not a joke.
It's a funny story, but a very heartfelt story that came up today because my anniversary is coming soon.
Happy anniversary!
And so I have this story to tell you about me and Linda.
Okay.
And instead of a joke, not always do I have to make fun of her, but it was something very interesting and funny that I think that you guys appreciate.
We're gonna find out. Listen, I mean, bring it all in, Heshy. Yeah. Bring it all in.
I always do, baby, and I always have the passion, and I think that I'm getting more hype for my election.
Yeah.
And people are talking to me about it.
I spoke to somebody before we came here, and the guy was telling me he's excited for you. He's ready to
Yeah,
vote for you.
yeah,
He's got
yeah.
4 votes in his household.
I have a
so-
lot, even the Muslim girl told me she knows about Bubov and that she knows they're no good.
Well, and we know also now that we're here live on 102.7 FM WNEW, the legendary former rock and roll radio station, WJPR 1640 in Miami, where it's now just as hot here in the Big Apple as it is down in South
I
Beach.
love it. I love
No,
it.
me too. Although I'm not so great feeling wise,
I
but
know, I heard you're not feeling well.
yeah,
I'm sorry.
that's okay. And
you're a trooper. You keep coming.
I always come.
You're the man.
WN, of course, our flagship WSNR 620 AM. Thank you everybody for joining us on this week's Just Enough Heshy show.
What about the Florida station?
WJP, I already mentioned them.
Oh, you did?
South Beach, yeah.
How come I don't pay attention?
Well, that's why you're here live, and you'll hear it when we'll go back and watch it in a little while.
Well, we're going to start the show now, and I want to give you some shout-outs to, and we have a lot to talk about to the
Absolutely.
live listeners on the radio. I'm going to give a shout-out, of course, to my beautiful granddaughter, Mira Nava.
Favorite part of the show, Heshy. Favorite part of the show.
Leila Tamar, Benjamin Hill, my grandson, Ahuva, my other granddaughter,
Yeah.
and Yeshua, my oldest grandson, and of course my newest granddaughter, Yael Miriam.
Glad you said that, not me.
And I had problems getting her insurance. You know, it's
Why?
very. You guys have to understand when your baby's born, you got to fill out you can't procrastinate on your paperwork because it's going to cost you, and they won't accept you. So I just got her the insurance. I'm telling him to go get passports. I'm telling him to change their driver's licenses. Now that they need it and they see that it doesn't work if you're not properly done, these young kids today think they can procrastinate. You can't because the city's full of red tape. I had a young lady today who bought a co-op in beautiful Manhattan.
Okay.
And she said
was there
that she
today.
knows the red tape and she's buying it. She's calling me now. She says, Heshy, I know the red tape and I know that you know it. Please, Heshy, take on my case. I said, you got it, my darling. I sat with her for a half hour and I prepped her. I said, you don't have to use me. I gave her all the information. But she's prepped and ready to go. She wants me.
All right,
so that's it.
congratulations to her.
Yeah. And of course, I don't want to forget my friend Ellie and Sergeant Peter.
Favorite part of the show.
Yeah, I love Sergeant Peter.
Yeah,
He's
good
a
man.
wonderful man.
A good man.
Here's my quote.
All right.
It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it. And I'm going to get into that. Nothing great in this world has ever been accomplished without passion. It is during our darkest moment that we must focus to see the light. When I explained this to you, especially my first quote, that life is not short, life is beautiful. You're right. Everybody says life has been too short or life is receding. You have a lot of time. You just waste it. You know, by us voting even Mamdani in, we wasted our time, we wasted our life, we wasted our money. He's not going to win. I know you all think he's going to win, and my prediction is wrong because I did predict Cuomo was going to beat him.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that Cuomo was just so stupid, and I should have known that he's stupid. What he
Oh,
did,
you should know it better than anybody. You've dealt with the man.
But here's my problem with Cuomo.
Okay, I wanna
You
hear
all
this.
want to say he was a 3-time governor, brilliant, and he says, I'm sorry about the nursing homes and COVID. Here's a man that was a 3-time governor.
Yep.
He had it, by the way, you're wearing the Heshy Tischler for
I have,
for
and you
sitting.
can get them here, heshytischler.com.
You just send me an email to where?
Justenoughheshy@gmail.com, or you want to pick one up, 5318 16th Avenue.
No
Corner
charge.
54th Street.
No
Yeah.
charge. But you got to wear it at least once.
I've worn it twice now in the last few
Big
weeks.
boy, I know, I love you.
But also,
Oh, yeah.
there it is, heshytischler.com. Definitely check out our website. Campaign is getting ready to get into full swing here
Did
very
I tell
shortly.
you that we got our matching funds, but not completely? They tell us
155,000.
163, but they took off 5%.
yes, but,
and
yes.
they told us we have to raise
And
another $5,000.
we
to make
will
them all.
certainly do that, and I know
Yeah.
our producer is motioning us to.
By the way,
get to some
Simcha
of the,
Felder only got 48,000.
I did see that. Yes, I saw that very well. But yes, heshytischler.com is where you can see some of the information about Heshy and what he has to offer. November is going to be different. You're fired up to vote. You're voting Heshy. You're voting right down that Republican ticket, and you're going with Heshy Tischler. Maybe you want to vote Eric Adams. Maybe you want to vote Andrew Cuomo and Heshy Tischler. There's going to be people here voting for Andrew Cuomo and Heshy Tischler possibly. We got to get all those votes. We got to get those votes. But also, we got to go also to Green Line Building Compliance. Not too
I
far
got to
from
do
here.
that one. Green Line Building Compliance and Green Line Building Solutions. We do plans and permits. We save your butt. I lift your vacate orders. I do your violations.
718-871-0300. 20382. Producer wants me to read it.
202 Foster Avenue.
Corner of
Come on
McDonald.
in. I got free parking. Call me. Free quotes. Free advice.
Info at greenlinecompliance.com.
But again, 718-871-0382. And, you know, we did a court case, me and my son, yesterday.
Yes.
Impossible win.
And speaking of the court cases, we got to go to my buddy Anthony Finkel, DPH
Wow.
Property Maintenance. We're getting the signal here, the bat signal
the
here.
signal.
347-228-2625. DPH Property Maintenance Service since 2013. Success doesn't come from what you do occasionally. It comes from what you do consistently. Go to dph.nyc. 347-228-2625. Give Anthony Finkel a call and tell
What's
him.
his number again?
347-228-2625 and tell him that he needs to stop trying out places to eat and go help you with your property issue. So dph.nyc.
I think he's been gaining some weight. I saw that.
He's been eating at Roll and Roaster. He's been eating at Essen.
Essen is good.
Yeah,
Roll
that's
and
very
Roaster is
good.
no good.
He's had L&B, Spumoni Gardens. He's all over the
I
place.
just went to a place called Subsational.
Okay.
And
How was that?
I'm telling you, those burgers are the best. Everybody
Okay.
says, I make the best burger. Really, they are like the old burgers of when I'm a kid that tasted me. And me and Linda like it. For $4.99, you get a small little 2-ounce hamburger. You get two of them, they're filling. For $20, two of you eat. For $24 with french fries, you don't have to spend like $90. And me and Linda were so happy when we ate out and we sat in the car. We were laughing like we were back in our younger days. And we actually enjoyed the meal. So it was good. And it was a rainy day yesterday. We sat in the car. We ate it. It was very cool.
I was thinking of you yesterday because on Instagram I was looking at Cat's Deli, actually.
Oh, Katzelli's not kosher. It's not good.
I know, but
Okay.
I still was looking at it.
But I'm telling you now, do not wasting of. See, I don't waste my life.
Okay.
I know what the future holds. You know, if the world ended tomorrow, I would still plant a tree if I had to.
You would?
I would. You know why?
But the world is over.
I got you. I got you. But I still believe in God. I believe in tomorrow, and I believe not to waste our time or life.
I agree with you on
And get
that.
stuff done. You know, sometimes you do things that have no accomplishment just to upset somebody else. You're wasting. You know, I have a guy that I help people, young people with businesses from foundations and raise money to start their businesses or to get started. And we always have a con man or a trickster every once in a while. I helped a mental health center open up, and I really love them. They're doing great. They're already in business 2 years. They've repaid most of their loans. They're expanding operations. And I told them when I'm counseling, I'm going to make them come into New York because they're in Long Island. Wonderful guy. And they actually help people with mental health issues.
That's great.
I'm so proud of what they're doing.
Good.
Then I had a guy who wanted to open up some kiddie business with kiddie rides, and he showed me his SBA loans and this paper, and his paperwork was so clean, this Yaakov Kellner, and he ended up tricking us and lying to us and stealing the money.
That's not
and it's not good. And the point is, we were supposed to sue him or whatever. The point is there's always somebody out there trying to take advantage and waste your
scam
time.
artists out there.
Right. And now here's the best part.
All right.
He calls me up the other day. He says, Heshy, we're going to pay you back. I said, really? How are you going to do that? He says, well, I need another $5,000.
He needs your money to
I
pay
said,
you
why?
back with
He
that
says, well, I'm
money.
going to court and lawyers. I said, but why don't you borrow from your father, your partner, the other people that you owe money to? You're the one that I like the most. I said, but we're the smallest loan by you. And I said to him, this is a con game that you just, and I think I know you well. There's always somebody out there to waste your time and waste your life, and you got to be careful.
Absolutely.
Sometimes even I am not careful, you know, and that's what I'm trying to tell you about Cuomo.
All right.
I'm just a little guy. I'm a professional at what I do, and I have a good team, and I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But Cuomo was the governor 3 times.
Yep, it's from Attorney General.
He had attorney generals. He
worked at HUD.
He had a team, a staff, and multi.
He was born into politics.
But he had a budget. He knows every person.
Yep.
When COVID came about, he should have done more research. He should have talked not to one side of the doctors, but the other. He did not. So those people who died, you can't say, oh, you can't blame the governor. I do blame
Well, he
him.
was trying to basically out-tough Trump. What he tried to do is he tried to make a name for himself off the backs of those, like you said, those poor people that never had a chance.
But also the business owners and shutting down New York. Go shut down other places, not New York. This guy was so busy.
He was a bully.
But it wasn't
He was
even
a
a
bully.
bully. He didn't do his research. And
No.
you know, he might even being the bully.
Well,
but
he wanted to write the book, wanted to run for president.
Right.
People were putting him on pedestals. They were calling
but
him.
he was so wrong. The point
course.
is, and everybody told him he's wrong. He didn't want to listen.
Between him and de Blasio running the state at that time.
I think Mamdani is de Blasio on steroids. That's all.
It's funny you say that because I read a few days ago that some of the former de Blasio aides in his administration have now gone over to help Mamdani.
Wow.
So God help us, right? Because Mamdani is almost to the left of de Blasio,
Yeah.
which is crazy as that sounds.
Yeah. Anyways, I always tell a joke on the show. I want to tell you more of a funny story, an inspirational story.
All right.
So every year I take Linda out for an early anniversary dinner because the kids want us to go for Labor Day. It's our anniversaries on Labor Day. So we have to go with them. We have to make a barbecue. We have to hang out with
That's
them.
nice.
So I take Linda to a nice restaurant, a little bit something that me and Linda can't afford. I know you're saying, oh, I should have money. But
No,
it's a
you
little-
and I are in the same boat on this one. Go ahead.
but it's a little bit out of our budget. You know, we have a budget. We have the
Yeah.
children. We have insurances. My children's...
Well, just because you have money doesn't mean you want to go out into these places.
Right,
You know?
and you know, everybody says, hey, she rent a lease a Cadillac. Why? What's wrong with the GMC that I have that looks so pretty? You wash it
Yeah.
up, you keep it clean, you run it nice. What's wrong with my 5-bedroom apartment? Why do I need it? I don't need it. You guys can have a 9-bedroom house. I don't
Right.
knock it. My house is pretty. I keep it clean. Even my maid, when she comes over, says, Heshy, you are one of the cleanest people that I come to. You know, because I'm very careful with how I run
You're
the
meticulous,
household.
yep.
It's not meticulous, but I'm careful to make sure that I can keep stuff going good.
Okay.
And I'm careful with even filling the refrigerator. Now my sister, she has Down syndrome. I have to fill her refrigerator. Esther. But she doesn't like certain things. So you have to be careful when shopping because she would throw it away.
Oh, okay.
So it's not a waste of time. You have to go out there. Now you're saying, oh, Heshy, you're saving only $5 or $10. I'm saving more because if I buy something that's no good, she'll throw it away anyways.
Yeah.
So you have to be careful when you...
That's something I've always been taught from
And when we
not
do
to
the
throw
soup
things out.
kitchen,
Yep.
many people complain to us on our boxes, oh, you give us stuff that we can't eat or too much extra. So I tell them to give me a list of what they want, and we try our best to make our boxes to conform to the 156 families we have. By the way, Rabbi Fish, my boss,
Yes.
we opened up a camp for special Bukhari kids.
Congratulations.
Yeah, we have about 40 kids in the camp, and these kids can't afford to go to camp.
Sure.
And I said, there's no way we can afford this. There's no money whatsoever. And we had somebody that has a school for special needs kids. Not
Okay.
special needs, you know, kids that are a little slower.
Okay.
And they were behind in their rent, and they were getting thrown out of the building. I was friends with the owner of the building.
Oh.
I'm also friends with the manager who runs the building. And I ended up making a deal that they're buying a building, they're raising the money to please give us another 2 months, and I guarantee the rent.
Oh, wow.
And I got them the extension. The donor that helps these people came over to me and said, what can we do for you? And I told him about the camp. And he donated all the money for the summer camp.
That's how nice.
Yeah.
Baruch
You're
Hashem.
talking that 40 kids, counselors, trips, lunches, you know.
You know, that reminds me of a story. On my own show, I had a musician on, and he talked about that people do want to help. People do want to help in this world. Why? Because it makes them feel good. That example, right, of these people that are going to be thrown out, but that donor that you knew, he wanted to help people. He wanted to make
somebody
people
came
feel
over
good.
to me who knew the story. He says, Heshy, this guy is a quiet, anonymous donor, and when you do good, you need to tell the whole world. So I have a problem. So I tell the world what I do good. I'm trying to be
You
inspirational.
being
that
quiet?
but I want other people to do good too.
Yeah.
You're right. A lot of people do quiet behind the scenes. I'm happy for them. I do my good, and I want to tell you that I did the good. Maybe you can pat me on the back. What does it hurt you?
I just patted you on the back.
You patted me on the shoulder,
Well,
not the back. That's
there you
right.
go.
Much
All right.
better. Thank you. Here's my inspirational
All
story.
right, let's go for it.
So I take Linda out to a little bit more expensive. You know, these people who spend $500 on a dinner, $1,000.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I agree with
told
that.
you, me and Linda had a couple of hamburgers for $25.
I'm with you
And
on
when
that.
I go out to Linda, I scream at her when she spends like $70 on Chinese meals. You know. and so I took Linda out to a little bit expensive meal. You know, instead of spending like $25 or $50 a person, I ended up spending it costing me and Linda with all the drinks and everything a little over almost $300.
Okay.
And plus the tip, and then a little dessert
Wow.
at the end. So
You
it was a little
splurged.
bit more money. So I was sitting there, and the restaurant guy knew me. And I told him it was our anniversary, and he comes out with a cake and with a little candle, and he gets the waiters, you know, like all these
Yep.
restaurants today.
Yeah.
Happy anniversary, blah, blah, blah. And everybody clapped, you know, because a few people knew me. Anyways, I call over the waiter and I say, okay, give me my bill. I'm ready to go. And he says, I'm sorry, Mr. Tischler, but it's been paid for.
Oh, my God.
I said, oh, my God, who would pay for me? And he points to an old lady in the corner. Points to me over there, and he says, she paid for everything. I have no idea who she is. I swear to you, I never
met her?
met her. Never.
Wow.
Okay, you got to talk to them, Mike, because I want them
I'm
to
listening,
hear your
though. I'm
responses.
listening. I'm
I
listening
want you
to
to be
you.
shocked. So I waved to the lady, and I said, please come over. Maybe
Right.
I can offer you a drink or something. And she declines.
She declined.
Okay. So me and Linda finished up. Of course, Linda took all the leftovers. It was expensive.
Yeah, I would
and now
imagine.
it's free, so for sure we're taking it. And
The doggy bag. That's
yeah,
the
the
old,
doggy bag.
yeah.
We all because Linda always orders an extra entree,
Yeah.
something we can't
Doggy
eat,
bag,
and
they call
I
that.
also order something stuff that we don't even touch, and an extra dessert.
Okay.
Always, I want to take home for the lady that comes once a week to us, our maid that
Oh, that's
been
nice.
working for me for 35 years.
Oh,
helping
wow.
with the kids, yeah. And I take something for the guys who live in the back of my house. The special people that I take in. Always want to give them something. It's always nice because
Very nice.
they like a nice treat. They're tight with monies, and so as we're walking out, I stopped. And I went over to the lady and I started to chat with her. What's her name? Where's she from? And I said, I don't mean to be mean and not grateful, but why? Why would you pay for my meal? Why would you do that? And she says, I saw that you were celebrating your anniversary. And you seem to be pretty happy and making Linda laugh and I overheard part of your conversation how you were very sarcastic with her and stuff like that. And she
Real
said-
sarcastic? Nah.
And she says it reminded me of me and my husband. He just passed away this year.
I'm sorry.
And we've been married for 60 years.
Wow.
And it reminded me of when my husband used to take me out. And we used to do this restaurant, and we did it in this restaurant.
Oh my
And
goodness.
she said, recently, the last few years, she says, and I was so happy to see somebody celebrating their anniversary on the day. That's why I came here. Today was my anniversary. And I told her it wasn't mine, but I was just coming. She says, but you still celebrated it. And I enjoyed to be part of your celebration. I saw it from afar. So it's a funny story, but it is a very interesting, inspirational story.
Yeah.
That you're able to even inspire people and make people happy when you're just being nice or being good.
Yeah,
And she
absolutely.
actually made me happy. I know that you're saying, oh, Heshy, you save money. But it made me feel good that somebody actually, looked at us and enjoyed our presence. Sometimes, we dress up for that reason. Why you think we don't go out? People say, I have a guy telling me, the reason you don't win the election, Heshy, is because you don't dress. He has a whole book on how I have to dress to win it. It's called Dress for Success.
Okay.
I says, I wear a suit and tie every day, white shirt, black pants, black jacket, or a blue or navy suit. No, you have to dress differently. I said, what, you want me to walk around in shorts? I know you do. I'm not knocking you.
No,
but
I
that's not
understand.
my
I'm
style.
not a candidate, though.
No, but it's not my, but it was never my style. And what, do you want me to do a fancier suit? I'm sorry. This is what I do, a regular guy suit. You know what I mean? A nice one. I got clean. Oh, you should wear different color shirts. You don't always have to wear tie. I said, but this is my style. I used to not wear it, but I like doing this, and this is my dress, and I do it.
Yeah, I mean, as long as I've known you, you've always
He
been
wants
suit and
me
tie.
right, he wants me to trick the people on how I dress better, and no, I disagree with Dress for Success. So he's such a nice man. I helped him out with a little violation.
Right.
He says, can you give me Curtis Sliwa's number? Because he needs to dress for success. He doesn't like the way Curtis wears that. I really don't like Curtis walking around that angel. hat.
Somebody said the same
He
thing
should
to
wear
me.
a cap that says Mega or a cap that
But
says...
he won't. He's not
But
going to
that
change.
beret is, I know that, so that's a problem. If you're not going to change, even me, I'm not going to change my ideas, but I do change
But
with the
speaking
times.
of Curtis, I mean, a poll came out yesterday saying that, the way he's
explain that to me.
the way he's doing things is he's actually neck and neck with Mamdani.
Yeah, but that's a problem for me because in
Okay.
the last election he got 28 to 30%.
Yes.
And this election he only has 20%.
Correct.
Mamdani has 26%, you told me?
Cuomo is 23.
Well, Cuomo's numbers I don't believe for a moment because we said that before and he came in with nothing.
Yeah, well, the pollster.
What about the last guy? We don't even know his name. What's his
Walden?
name? I got you.
1%. Yeah, and he got matching funds. He got another $1 million in matching funds.
So did Mamdani. Mamdani got his. He is, and let me tell you something.
All right.
I know about Mamdani's trick, and I'm telling it to all of you.
All right, I want to hear this.
Mamdani's people, usually we get in every primary election about 3,000 to 4,000 new people that registered to vote.
Something like that.
Mamdani went out and pushed the registration and got 37,000 new voters. How many votes did he beat Cuomo by?
120,000.
No. That's with the
ranked?
ranked choice.
He beat him by about 90,000.
I thought only 60,000.
No, it was about
I
90.
saw 60.
About 90 grand.
Okay, still, but he went out and now I hear their goal is to go register another 100,000 voters.
Well, Adams, first of all, talked about he wanted to register 1 million voters.
Which he didn't.
That's pie in the sky. I don't see Mamdani
And like you
registering
said,
100,000.
only 13% of the people came out to vote. And they say the young people that are excited that come out to vote in the primaries don't come out to vote in the main election.
Well, I think that there's no question that there is a pool of people that voted a few weeks ago, but now what's going to happen is everybody else gets the opportunity to vote. And I think that there is a large number of people that we're going to see what they think about the fact that this guy, the most radical candidate to ever be a major party nominee in history here, especially in New York City in a mayoral election, we're going to see how does that play out? Because we know right now there are 3 candidates that have some form of a chance. You've got Eric Adams, the incumbent, Andrew Cuomo, who you just mentioned, the guy with the beret, Curtis Sliwa, who's got the 20%, who seems
with no money,
no matching funds, but he's got the Republican ballot line, which is what these other guys don't have. Is he's got a major party ballot line? So how does that impact him?
Right.
That's
I also have a major party ballot line. And where's my opponent, by the way?
That's a great question, because it's funny you said that. I knew you were going to bring this up because I went on his website. I went on his website, and there's literally no information. It has a biography, but nothing else. No committee assignments, no publications, no press releases. The same office that Kalman Yeager had, but nothing. Literally, he's
just sitting there with no, and he's going to get the vote.
And it's and ironically enough to me, I noticed he got money from a council member in the Bronx. But where have the people in his district seen him?
So that's my point. On the first primary, he got a lot of straw donations. I know that for a fact. The way he raised
we spoke about this a few months ago.
So he was able to do matching funds.
Right.
People are not going to give the straw donations a second time. That's why he was only able to raise $48,000, and $12,000 was what?
Well, now he's only raised 27, but $12,500 comes from a personal loan he gave his campaign. He gave his campaign not 1 but 2 personal loans, and he's raised $15,000 so far since he got elected a few months ago.
Not only did I raise the money, I gave my own loan. You know how much I gave?
0.
No, $175.
No.
Not a loan. I don't think, did I give a donation or a loan? I think I might have given a donation.
I think it's a donation. That's why I said loan 0.
Was it $175?
Now, our friend that used to come on the show loaned his campaign $20,000.
I don't want to hear about that, but I don't do that. I go to the people, I knock on their doors one at a time. Today I got another nice person for $200. Last night $175. So I've
actually met some of your donors in the district. I've actually met a few of them. So
and I help most of them. And I tell them, you don't have to donate to me. I could use the donation. I tell it to them.
Well, I think advice as well. I think the strength of a candidate, just to piggyback off that, to cut you off, not to cut you off, but to say is that the strength of any candidate is who gives you money and the amount of people. Your campaign has a grassroots support. Right. Your opponent does not. Your opponent has the same old people giving donations because they want to do business with him. Whereas you, Heshy Tischler, has the support of the people, which is why you need to go to HeshyTischler.com, get involved in the campaign, email justenoughheshy@gmail.com, 5318 16th Avenue. Stop by the office. The weather's eventually going to turn, and we're going to get closer to November. And now we can win this. Why can we win this? Right. Because everybody now knows they have to vote November, because the option is Mamdani or somebody else. Right. And that's going to help Heshy Tischler.
And as you can see, our councilman that's there now.
And he's running. His running mate is Mamdani. Right. I want to make this clear for those listening and watching this. Your opponent, his running mate, is Zorhan Mamdani.
Right. Can you believe that?
And he has not come out and said anything about Zorhan Mamdani. We know Kalman Yeager's said a few things. We know other elected officials have said whether they were good, bad, or indifferent about Zorhan Mamdani. Simcha Felder, does he even know who Zorhan Mamdani is?
Does he even know where he is? We keep saying.
That's why it's important.
He's in Jersey. I forgot.
And that's important. And that's why it's important to note for those that are watching and listening right now. Simcha Felder is running. He is running, ladies and gentlemen, alongside Zorhan Mamdani.
I know. But here's my thing. There's a vote on the Board of Elections. We're supposed to. We put up some kind of a request or amendment or agenda to have the election open. It should be open. That means anybody from any party.
Yes, we talked about this last week on the show.
So the Board of Elections turned it down. They won't even let it come up for a vote. It's not fair. The people have a right to decide, listen, let's stop this stupid primary. In the primary, we get to choose who is from Republican, Democrat. You should be able to vote.
And here's the reason that they don't want to open that. And I agree with you. I talked about this on last week's show. They don't want to do that because the Board of Elections and certain people lose power. Correct. And they don't want to give up power. So whether it's the Democrats and the Republicans, because guess what? Republicans spoke out against this. There was Republican council members, Frank Morano in Staten Island, Joanne Ariola in Queens. They spoke out against open primaries. I'm with you. I'm a big supporter of that because I think the people should decide of all parties. Open it up to everybody. Let's have a free-for-all. Like in wrestling, we always have a rumble.
You don't have to vote conservative. You don't have to vote Republican. You can go to the ballot and see both names on the ballot. That's the way.
Or multiple names. Right. And choose who you want to vote for. Not these charade, these kamikaze scams that they do. In other states, they have them. And people get the chance to vote for who they like.
And you know what? My thing is, there's also something on the ballot that says that not only to the open primaries, but that the I forgot what it was, the election. I don't even know what it was. Oh yeah, that we should have the elections. You know how we have every year an election? We're just making you crazy. Every year we have an election, a mayor election, then we have the councilman election, then we have this election. I believe we should do the mayor election and the councilman elections to match with the presidential election.
See, that's where I would somewhat...
This way everybody comes out.
See, I disagree with you on that.
People are not coming to the polls every 10 minutes.
I'm going to tell you why I disagree with that versus the open primaries, because what that's going to do is... that's going to make it where Democrats have more of a voice. So when we have these elections where we combine everything in one, I think what happens is guys like in your race or in other districts around, they're going to get drowned out because when people go to vote, they're voting either Democrat or Republican. So I understand your point, but I do believe that the elections should stay the way they are. But I absolutely support 110% open primaries.
Well, that is coming up for the ballot to change it.
Yes, and I'm voting strongly for that. And
I want to go a little bit off topic.
Sure.
As you know, right after this mayor election, all of the pain and the screaming and the excitement and the drama, just like the Trump election, this all drama come out. I mean, we were exhausted after that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I'm happy Trump won, but we were exhausted.
Yep.
You know that the new presidential election is going to start right now because
I know. Well, next year's the federal elections already for Congress and Senate. Right. People are talking about them right now.
So they're already saying that Kamala, who's a big idiot, just like Zoran. Zoran has all these policies: free buses, free groceries,
$30 an hour minimum wage.
Forget about that. Free. What else did he say?
City-run grocery stores.
Yeah, but also the free transit,
free buses,
free child health care. So
who's paying for it?
Right. He has no plan. Like Kamala, when she also came up with all these ideas, has no plan. Kamala has a 43% lead to become the Democratic nominee this time in the next election, and she's raising money.
So my answer to that is...
There's nobody to challenge her?
My answer to that is...
Gavin is not going to challenge her?
I think Gavin would like to run, but he's also from the same state as her.
So, he's more... I mean, he gave her a shot.
I think I'd rather have...
Look, Rubio ran against Trump the second time.
Yeah.
Or DeSantis ran against him.
Well, DeSantis is a good point. Rubio...
But DeSantis, here's a problem with DeSantis.
All right.
Vice President Vance... Okay,
is going to run.
Has also a 43% advantage, and DeSantis only has a 9%.
I think we talked about this a year and a half ago on the show. DeSantis ran a poor campaign for president. He was not a good candidate.
They're not going to let him go.
He was great on COVID, and that campaign that he ran,
immigration, great on crime.
Yeah, but in terms of how he ran that campaign.
Right, because he went after his friend Trump, and you can't break friendships because you're the president.
I also think his personality, to me, I think Vance has got a little more personality.
He's young. He's like a Mamdani,
telegenic,
a normal Mamdani.
Well, let's hope we don't have more Mamdanis, but I think that I could see why Kamala and Vance are ahead in both parties because, listen, Kamala was the vice president. She was senator. and she just ran for president. So Democrats may defer
So
to
she
her.
has name recognition.
She's basically
but she's not qualified to be president.
I agree. I'm not a fan, but
I would like to have seen what she
I
would have
think-
done on October 7th. I would like to see what she would have
she
done.
couldn't even to denounce it. We talked about this in the show.
What she would have done with Iran with the nuclear thing. Zero. What does she do? What does she
She's
do?
another Hillary.
What about Ukraine? She has no idea what we're doing in Ukraine, and Putin wouldn't even pick up the phone to talk to her.
And that's why we dodged a bullet, regardless, because there's some of the things I don't like about President Trump, but we dodged a major bullet in the fact that Harris could have been president right now. Could you imagine, Heshy, what Harris would be doing with the situation with Iran and Israel? We know the situation with Russia and Ukraine. We know the situation with immigration, right?
Oh, God.
If she would have been in charge...
Right now, zero border crossing. Zero border crossing.
Still, you would have been talking about a situation that we would be in a worse
She has
position.
no idea what to do. Anyways,
Absolutely.
so that's your future. So everybody get ready because it's
Are you
gonna-
betting on some of that?
I don't like to bet on stuff like
Same
that.
here,
yeah.
actually. I don't
By the way, Mamdani is now changing his little thing. He tells New York City
I did
business
see that.
leaders he will discourage globalized jihad. So first he's for globalized jihad. Now he's against globalized.
But do you believe him?
Not
honestly?
a word.
No.
Now he's playing for the game, and now all the big
Billionaires.
not billionaires, all the big landlords now, real estate people are throwing their money at Adams, not at Cuomo.
Well, I think it's because, first of all, Adams is still the incumbent.
Yeah.
Incumbency still means something.
Usually, an independent we wouldn't even be talking about.
But this is a very unique election. This is the most unique election, I think, in our lifetimes. I think, maybe people are talking about John Lindsay, maybe, but there's nothing like this. So I think landlords...
No, there was something close when Ross Perot ran for president.
But not for a mayoral election. For a mayor, we've never had...
But that was an interesting president.
Very much so.
If he would have, and he had a chance to win.
He was there in the
was
polls.
there,
Yeah.
He backed out.
Then he
came
came back in.
again. He was
Yeah.
actually even with them in the polls when he backed out and
He
came
got
back
eight-
a second
and he
time.
got 18% of the vote.
But he could. He was really. He had a big
Yeah.
chunk of the lead. He was a great speaker. He
Yep.
spoke well. He had $400 million,
Which is like $1 billion now.
$1 billion now that he spent of his own money.
Yeah.
No,
No, I
money.
agree.
I would have loved to see him as president.
I agree with you on that wholeheartedly. But
And
don't...
you know what?
What?
What I understood the rule was
Mm-hmm.
that if nobody got 50% of the presidential vote,
It goes to the
it goes to the
Congress.
Congress
Yeah.
to decide, and they could either decide any of the candidates, even the third place guy, or draft somebody to become president.
Well, I mean, we'll never know, but
know.
I do think that when it comes to landlords hedging their bets, I think Adams, while he struggled in these polls, he still has the most upside because he's got the charisma, he's got the swagger. But I think Adams, I knew you were going to bring this up, and I think Adams' problem, and I said this months ago when I came back to the show, Adams would have been a great mayor, but his problem was to the Republicans and to districts like this and surrounding ones. He tried to force all these homeless shelters, and I
Right.
know
We
you
have
like
another
it.
one coming. We have
And,
another-
and I know you're a fan of it, but City of Yes really takes away, in especially areas like this and surrounding districts, the zoning laws that have that for
But
district.
my problem is with that you're saying the city of yes is no good.
I don't
Your
believe in it,
problem
no.
is with the city of yes is the reason why the homeless shelters are coming here is because you're not allowing us to build our homes bigger. You have all this empty space. You have these buildings where these landlords can't make money and increase their revenue, which they should be able to build on their own property as much as one. We don't have a big property. We have small 20-foot. Remember these properties in the 40s when they first opened up
Yeah.
were 1 acre, 2 acres.
Right.
Then you split up the acres. You made us buy buildings. You did what is it when the government takes away your thing? It's called
Eminent domain.
Eminent domain. You took a lot of that away, and you made our property smaller. So now we have, instead of a 40 or 50 foot wide or 60 foot property, you made our foot property 20 feet. How does somebody have a family that grows in 20 feet?
I understand your point, but here's my
So
problem
the
with
city
that.
of yes allows us
But we don't have
to
the
build on the full
but
property.
we don't have the infrastructure to be able to handle in areas that are more residential. I understand your point, like in commercial areas to change the zoning law, but if you're in part...
No, I want, forget the commercials. I don't want them to go up. I don't want the massive big buildings.
No, but
We
you
have
could
that.
change, but to your
I
point...
want more residential, that people have a place. Remember, by building these new buildings, forget the residential small homes. I believe a small homeowner has a right. That's what you see. You don't understand what the city of Yes is all about.
This was Robert Moses' idea, though, and it was shot down by a lot of people. You do realize that.
Right, but the city of Yes says, I know that we have to lose and let the big developers get the same compensation. But my idea of the city of Yes is to allow a little homeowners who has a family of 4 kids that has nowhere to go in New York City, has to go out now to Long Island or Jersey, like my son, travel 2 hours a day because the house is half price.
Right.
And you should see his house. He has a gigantic house with 6 bedrooms, a backyard bigger than, I don't know.
What we have here.
My block,
Yeah.
And he has it beautiful out there, and his taxes are cheaper, but he has to travel every day an hour.
But that's not Eric. But Eric Adams isn't wanting to do what you're saying. What you're saying
he
is
has nowhere to put his family. And I struggled here. If
I know
the
you
city
did.
of Yes allows you to stay here and let the small homeowners. Now you're right, the big landlords shouldn't be allowed too much. But you know what? When you allow the big landlords, the city of Yes says that you have to give me as well as.
But I think my problem with it is that the way it worked was the zoning would be preferential to the area. And what city of Yes, my problem with it is, and this is where Adams made a big misstep, is that he wanted to take away. So if you wanted to opt out, you could opt out. He's making it a one-size-fits-all. Now, there was a town hall in Queens where in an area, Northeast Queens, they were talking about this, and they were making points, kind of like what you did, but Adams seemed to be... He wasn't listening to
So
it.
I have a problem. We have over here that they never let us do zoning. They made all the people get violations. They tortured us. And now with this new zoning variance,
Right.
the big developers going into a residential neighborhood is building a gigantic big development.
They're everywhere.
When all of us, when we spent our money on our homes, now they're putting their development is right in the middle of our block.
14th
and we
Avenue.
know over there, right, 12th Avenue, 15th Avenue. And not only they're putting in the middle of the block,
Bay
we
Parkway.
know that they're going to put homeless right next to us after they get approved.
But and that's where Adams has made a major misstep.
Right.
And that's
so it's a little too late for the city of Yes, but I still believe that the city of Yes should only be for private homeowners, 2, 3, 4, 5.
which is not what this, and that's why
I know.
Adams, and that's my problem. And I think that Adams, he has the
But
most
also
upside.
under Adams, even though you hear him saying crime is down, crime is skyrocketing. The criminal justice reform is not working.
We've talked about that.
Soaring utility bills. You should see my bill.
I know.
It's not normal.
It's
and even now,
and now they
when
want to
your
raise
bill
them
is
again.
low, when
you know they want to raise them again.
But when your bill is right, they want to raise them. And when your bill is low, they say, "Oh, your meter is no good. We're going to change your meter."
They come and change it to jack your price up. I've seen it. I've seen it firsthand.
And I just said my water meter is 12 years old. It can't be broken. Oh, your gas meter has to be changed. And they come check it and send a private company who's playing with it. Do you know that?
Yeah. Oh, it's funny you said that. I have seen that firsthand. In
I
Brooklyn.
have seen it firsthand.
Same here. I've seen it. I've seen it firsthand.
By the way, Mamdani has Wall Street ready to give up on New York City. They're ready to remove.
Did you see what he told business leaders? It was in the New York Post today. He told them that you won't leave. He's basically telling them that with my policies, you're still not going to leave here. So he feels that he can do whatever he wants.
Right.
He feels he can get a blank check. That's why he's trying to apologize for his globalize the intifada, because what he's banking on is that the Democratic Party will go along with that because he's the Democrat.
Hochul says she'll keep him in check. So Hochul,
you trust Hochul?
Of course not. But is Hochul endorsing him or not endorsing him?
I think she's trying to walk the tightrope because she's a Democrat.
Right.
And she doesn't want to get primaried from his base because she's got the lieutenant governor primarying her already.
But here's my problem. The lieutenant governor is like missing in action. I haven't
Another
heard
one.
from him.
No.
Where is he?
He's been raising money, apparently, $1.5 million.
Right, but I don't know where he is. Nobody has seen him. He's not even doing his job for the last, and he has another year to go.
Well, didn't we not talk about Mamdani on the show for months, how he only passed 3 bills?
Yeah.
That's where Adams is spot on. Cuomo, I don't understand why Cuomo never brought that up. If Cuomo would have been hammering that on the campaign trail, Cuomo, I know you'd be upset, but he would be the nominee instead of Mamdani because we're only talking about...
Trump says that Cuomo has a chance to beat Mamdani, but Cuomo or Adams, somebody has to drop out. There have to be a one-on-one. I know and Cuomo says Trump said he's watching the race. By
Wow.
the way, Cuomo's so cool. He called an AOC, what did he call her? I forgot what the word he called her, like stupid. And, she has a low IQ.
Wow.
And also the other one, Crockett?
Oh,
He said
yeah,
They
Jeff
have
Crockett.
low IQs. Okay? I mean, these people are stupid. He knows that. And I don't know how they're still in Congress.
Well, because people vote Democrat, it's like zombies. They just go right down the ballot. That's the problem. That's why we're in this predicament where a lot of people are almost slobbering over endorsing Mamdani.
Yeah. And they're still pushing climate control. And you guys are not even, what you people don't understand what climate control and the big green machine is.
Right.
Let me explain to you something about your big green thing. Mm-hmm. It's not only that they want to change everything in the environment. When somebody builds their house and they want to get access to their roof, so instead of climbing on a ladder like I had to do the other day.
I did that before.
So what we did was we're allowed to build a flat roof.
Yeah.
So to get on there, you build a little staircase in your house, a real staircase, not a pull-down staircase, and you're able to build something called a bulkhead.
Okay.
Since you're building a bulkhead, we'll give you permission for that, but you have to make your roof green, which means you have to put solar energy, which is an extra $20,000, $30,000, $40,000.
I've seen those.
Or you have to put grass on your roof.
Yeah, who's
Are
doing
you
grass?
stupid in your head?
Is anybody here watching or listening to this?
Now,
have you put grass?
That's what they want. They want a green roof. Now, I'm going to make a green roof and take it off after I'm approved.
Yeah, I mean,
but what kind of
I
stupidity
guess
is that?
I guess the only thing, and again, I don't agree with it, but does synthetic turf count? Artificial grass, would that count?
Right. So not the. You have to. It has to be like. Artificial grass is
because
good.
in baseball you use artificial grass
so you
sometimes.
have to build a box with dirt, and you have to put the grass in there, and it has to grow. So that we're going to remove it afterwards.
Right.
They want soon. They're going to figure out a way to screw us with that too.
That's nickel and diming the taxpayer.
If Cuomo drops out, do you think Adams will win?
I don't. Well, here's my catch.
Adams, you're saying only has 10%.
About 13. He's 13 this fall.
So where does Cuomo's 20% go? Does it go to Mamdani or does it go to Sliwa?
I think Sliwa's only going to pick up a couple of that points. I don't think all of that's Cuomo.
So the Cuomo people are going to go to Mamdani?
I think some of them go to Mamdani. Some of them go to Curtis. I think
Nobody goes to Adams?
No, I think Adams. Let's say he's got 23%.
So
right?
You're saying Adams has no chance?
I didn't say he had no chance. I think that he has an outside chance. I think this is actually our friend Anthony Finkel, he asked me about this because Eric Adams just did a podcast in Florida. He went down there raised a lot of money. And this is what I think about Eric Adams. Eric Adams has an outside chance. He's likely not to win, but he has the most upside because realistically speaking, Eric Adams has got the most swagger. He's got the ability to connect to people.
And he's on the news
and
all the
he's
time.
in his element. Right. He is a good retail politician. Cuomo is not. We know that Andrew Cuomo is not a good retail politician. No. Eric Adams is.
He got elected on name recognition.
That people vote zombie.
And then he was a bully. I don't even know how he beat one for governor. By the way, Mamdani is raking up endorsements from the labor unions and politicians.
UFT.
What's SEIU?
That's the healthcare workers union. 1199. They're very powerful. They were very powerful with the New York State Senate at one time.
And also the New York State Nurses Union. Now, don't you understand
Nurses Association?
But here you go. When he becomes mayor, you're not going to make more money. You'll get your $30 an hour.
So
when some of you make
here's
$7,500
my
an hour.
reason that
I'm not finished.
Okay.
Also, he got his support from the police people, but a lot of the police people are backing out and making their own. They're saying
I think Adams is getting the police unions.
Right.
I don't think Mamdani's getting one of them.
He got some of it.
Well, here's my answer on these unions, whatever ones you want to throw in there. The reason that they're endorsing Mamdani is very simple. They have a city budget that they have to negotiate for their workers to get their pay raises. And Mamdani, they are making a calculated guess.
But if Mamdani loses and Adams wins, Adams is going to punish them.
I don't think he will. I think Adams will, at the end of the day, know that he'll make a deal. He's made a deal with them before. I think because Adams is term limited out, I think now Cuomo wins. You make an excellent point. I think Cuomo will punish them. I think if Cuomo wins, we know he's a bully.
Yeah.
If Curtis wins, I don't know.
But even Cuomo is saying that he failed his campaign because he didn't run it correctly. What changes do you think Cuomo could possibly make?
I think the change that he'll make is he's going to have to be more humble. You know, one of the things they talk
not
about.
humble.
I agree with you. I'm not a Cuomo fan, but I think one of the things they always say in politics is that you have to do in order to change course, to maybe get the public to be on your side, is to be humble, apologetic, and to basically look.
He's still not apologetic of what he did.
That was one of the things that Bill Clinton, whether you liked Bill Clinton or not, what Bill Clinton was able to do was time and time again, he was able to show the human element of what he was as an individual, which is why people kept supporting him.
But
now, I don't think
anymore.
Cuomo can do it, though.
But not anymore. You know, Clinton lives in a $5 billion beach
But I'm
house.
talking about when he was president. I'm not talking about today. Today, he's out of touch.
And you should see George Bush. George Bush goes out and sweeps his own driveway. So, you know, these are two different presidents, and Clinton came...
Well, Clinton, we know a lot of stuff, but I think that's what Cuomo's going to try. But I think all the money in the world, all the changes and the apologies, I don't think are going to change that. Ultimately, to me, Adams has got the most upside. Listen, Curtis is still in the game because he's got the Republican line.
And I'm hoping that Curtis drags me on his coattails, even though he helped Simcha Felder get on the ballot. I'm disappointed.
Well, I think that's going to be the challenge because, you know, I was talking...
If he pulls out the Republican voters in my community, I win.
You know what? I was talking with my mother with this because she follows politics a little bit. We were talking about the election. And I said, I think what is going to happen or Republicans are going to hope for is that they're now going to be motivated to vote, whether it's in your district here, whether it's in some districts in the Bronx, Queens, the guy that used to co-host the show with us in his district, you know, he's hoping. But that's the hope is that Curtis is going to pull people out, but I also think Adams is going to pull people out to vote too, because I think Adams is going to win a few Republican votes.
But once the people are at the ballots, they don't have to vote down the Democratic line.
No.
And they can see what's going on.
Yep.
Just a little switch. I want to lighten up the show.
Okay.
I was reading an article
You were?
that the largest piece of Mars ever found on Earth was sold for $5 million at an auction.
You mean you didn't expedite it?
I didn't. And a skeleton of a juvenile dinosaur went for $30 million. Now, I'm not going to deny dinosaurs exist. But I just because you find, I don't understand. I really don't believe
Well, I got one for you.
Were they really dinosaurs? I mean, I don't see it written in the Bible. I don't see it written anywhere in the world about dinosaurs. Somehow these people found skeletons and put it together and say these are dinosaurs.
Well, I got one for you. Do you believe in life on Mars? Do you believe in all these people going out there? Like, what do you think when you see these people?
So going to the moon is interesting because maybe we could use space to slow down death and grow stuff faster.
Yeah.
I
I agree.
understand something that we can figure out, and they're doing. If they say things grow faster or slower, or something that we could try to learn what's in space.
Or learn how people or objects live there.
Mars, which is what, 30 million miles away?
Yeah.
It's like a dead planet. We know that. We've tested it. We have things on there. Now, I don't even believe this piece of asteroid flew off the crust, through the things, and came 30 million miles. There's no way that's a piece of Mars.
I got a follow-up for you, slightly off topic, but do you believe in aliens?
No.
Okay.
I'm sorry to tell you, I can't.
Why not?
The Torah, the Bible, even though we all say the angels are aliens. Now, you're right. I was watching a show that the Egyptian gods were aliens.
Yeah, I remember
And
that.
they're saying that when the Jews in the desert, they were given the Holy Ark. You know the Holy Ark?
Yeah.
Okay. So, you watch it on the movie and whatever with Indiana Jones.
I did watch Indiana Jones.
So the
Yes, I
Jews created this golden ark. They carried it through the desert, and when they went to war with other nations, somehow the ark, with God's power, was able to send out some bolt of energy and kill out that's what the Torah says. And
Right.
The stories that go on. Now, according to the videos that I was watching on the ancient aliens, they said that the aliens came down. I know I'm a heretic now when I'm saying it. But the aliens came down and created this nuclear device and gave it to the Jews to go fight their enemies in the desert. And really, the ark was a nuclear device. When you push the button, it killed all your enemies. That's why the Jews were successful. And the people carrying the ark that were holy, and they say when they weren't holy, they died. The radiation killed them every time they fired the weapon. Then the mon machine. You know, in the Bible, there is, and I've said this before, that the Jews received bread from heaven.
Yes, I remember, and I took religion class as a kid. I remember that story came up.
So they received them on every day, and it was tasting of any kind of food you want, very energetic. And on Friday, you got 2 portions, because Saturday we don't work, so Saturday you don't get a second. You use the Friday double portion for Saturday.
Okay.
Because of the Shabbos.
Gotcha.
Of course, God's not going to work on nobody. So some guy in the ancient aliens says, no, there was a machine, okay, the Zohar, they have some kind of engineering machine that actually showed that the Jews created this mon machine that created this food out of algae.
Okay.
And the Jews were able to survive in the desert. And the machine needed cleaning every 7 days, so they made a double portion on Friday so they can clean the machine on Shabbos.
Well, that's a great story, and I also want to say goodbye to our listeners on the radio.
I have so much to talk about.
We can talk about it, but they're about to leave, so I want to say thank you to WNEW 1027 FM, WJPR 1640 AM in beautiful Miami, Florida, our flagship WSNR 620 AM. We'll see you next week on the Just Enough Heshy Show with Tom and Heshy. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for going to the show. But I did have one comment that I wanted
I want to talk Trump. With Trump.
I want to talk about Trump.
There's a Trump story about the Federal Reserve.
Right, that's what I want to talk about. By the way, Elon Omar, who I hate so much.
Yes.
Okay, her daughter Isra Hirsi was selling used clothing. And they asked her why. They said, well, Barnard College threw her out for being at a pro-Palestinian rally. Now her mother, who was broke, is now worth like $9 or $10 million.
And why is she selling?
Why is she selling used clothes?
It's like, we talked about, remember a few weeks ago, we talked about AOC and her net worth. How is AOC, who just 7 years ago was a bartender, broke, now is worth, tens of millions of dollars? It just, it's crazy what happens. Yeah. Right. Look at Chuck Schumer. I read something the other day that Chuck Schumer's wife, who used to be the DOT head here in the city, is now a library head and is making $540,000 a year.
Wow.
For what? I have no idea.
I give up. I tell you something, I give up on all this stupidity.
I know. Listen,
but Trump now, the rule is that the Fed chairman is chosen and he can never be removed from his position unless there is some kind of reason or to remove him.
And then he has to get through Congress to
do it. Now, a lot of people in Congress, especially Republicans, would vote with Trump, I think, to remove the Fed.
But that's interesting because they only have a slight majority. So if you lose a handful of people,
right?
You ain't get the votes.
He's trying to push it. Now they have no reason to remove him, but now I found out they have a reason to remove him. He's renovating. He's redoing the Fed headquarters. Mm-hmm. Now, usually to renovate a building, $1 million, $2 million, $20 million, $50 million, $100 million. Do you know he's spending billions of dollars to renovate the Fed headquarters?
And what's his reason why?
And he's over budget, and he's saying he's not misusing it. It's not even misusing it. You're just incompetent. Then you don't belong there. And you're too busy with your trying to fix the economy. The economy is fixing itself. It's running well.
I think Trump's
lower interest rates, for God's sake.
I think that's what Trump's issue is, that he's held very, very steadily on interest rates. We're going back almost a year. And Trump feels that we should lower the interest rates. And that's what it comes down to.
He's 100% right. And he's right about business. And he's right about tariffs. And he's right about everything. I don't know.
Well, tariffs, the market still doesn't agree about the tariffs. Now, I agree with you about Trump should, as president, be able to have a right to put his person.
He has a right to. No, he does have a right to choose his person.
Yeah.
But
his term ends, though, next year, I thought. So really, at the end of the day,
the president only gets 2 years out of his Fed chair. Unless he's reelected, then he gets 6
Well, we know
years
Trump is not being reelected.
Right, but again, if the person doesn't get reelected, so the Fed chair he picks goes into the next presidency, like Powell is now stuck because Biden allowed him to stay on.
And this is why I think this is fascinating, because
Trump chose
him, and also he's out in a year. So why not just?
No, because Trump wants the economy to go blasting 2016 and doesn't want to allow him to stay. If his term limit was 2015, and I agree, but Powell is going to stay until the end of 2016.
26,
I believe that's a problem.
I don't know.
want Powell out.
My opinion is that
I don't think Powell's doing a good job.
I think you make some valid points, but I feel like Congress, because Republicans have such a slim majority, this comes to a vote, it ain't going to work.
What do you think? I know you discussed it for a moment only about the Putin, but he did threaten Putin. Putin didn't make any comments, and he's giving Ukraine. He actually, when he said he wasn't going to, he's giving Ukraine a package of things and
weapons.
And I see that they are almost at ceasefire, Ukraine and Russia.
Well, Russia, I think went back and forth, and he was going to go out and be.
He just needs to, he wants to give up the war. He just needs to walk away with, not to be embarrassed. He has to walk away that he's the man.
I think this Russia-Ukraine situation is dragging on longer than I think he anticipated. And I think
somebody's making money there, that's for sure.
Well, we listen to one thing, what we know about Ukraine, how much money did we give Ukraine these last 4 years? And that's a good another point. Is that this situation with Russia and Ukraine is going on almost 4 years. If you think about in time, right, this is going to end up potentially longer than what we did in Iraq.
Yeah.
We think about Vietnam, right? Vietnam lasted a long time. Right. We're going into, now we're not in this war physically, but this is going on a long time. And when is this going to end? Because I think that's where Trump...
know how much I may have left because I want to ask you something.
Ask me something.
I'm going to law school. I'm going to become a criminal lawyer. You can laugh, keep laughing.
No, I'm waiting until you go to class. I want to hear the stories about you in class.
Yesterday, me and my son, we were on the phone and we told the judge. The judge said, "I wish you good luck in law school because I'm 61." And he tells my son, he says, "You make sure your father studies and doesn't go to work." And I said, "I'm going to do it all."
Well,
and the judge just loved me and he couldn't believe that I'm going to law school. And we presented a real good case because we know what we're doing.
Well, I have a question to follow up, if I could. Now, would you be one of the oldest people to have ever attended law school?
I don't think so. I heard there was some other older people. I think two of us will be the oldest one going to law school, graduating.
Wow. Well, that's interesting. I mean, that's...
Yeah. But, so I'm talking to you about this because the Menendez brothers, I have a solution how to get them.
I want to hear this. I know the Menendez brothers.
And here's what my problem with the Menendez brothers is, that the judge now got angry and said to the prosecution, why was there evidence held back at the trial? Now, it's not a new thing, so they can't bring it up in appeal. But the judge is saying, hey, why was the evidence held back? And with the new sentencing, they're up for parole in August.
I heard
they
that.
might get out. So again, but the judge is still upset with the district attorney. When I become a lawyer, I'm going to create a team that won't allow this.
I don't think that they should get out, by the way, on parole. I don't think... I know that's been... We're talking about 30-plus years, right? The Menendez case.
But they weren't molested.
I just think what they did, though, to me...
I know. Somebody said to me, if they kill your daughter...
How would you feel?
Right. I know one thing. Don't do that to me. My name is not a regular innocent bystander. I promise you. You see, I can fight back.
I saw it firsthand months ago back on Day Hill Road.
The city, the government. I will not go.
And that's why if you're here before we sign off, you got to go to HeshyTishler.com. You got to go stop by our office, 5318 16th Avenue, justenoughheshy@gmail.com. This district is going to be the ground zero, the epicenter. You guys are
listening to this show, and I know you're listening. A lot of you are from my district. Pick yourself up. You still have time to register to vote. This is not a joke. Tell your friends about it. Raise money, because if you want Mamdani, just sit at home.
There was over 1,000 people in Borough Park that voted for Mamdani. This is a serious thing.
Borough Park.
So you got to go out there and vote.
They thought it was a joke because they think he didn't have a chance, so they clicked his name. A lot of the kids told me.
To me, it amazed me in Midwood, Borough Park, Flatbush.
Yeah, and they even got one. I understand the Muslim vote, but he didn't have no 1,000 people over here registered.
No, and I don't think he's going to register that many people. We'll have to find out.
15,000 voters that we have here, there is no 1,000 Muslim
And HeshyTishler.com is up on the screen. So if you're watching this on YouTube and other places, please go to our website. Please support this man. This is the district where it's ground zero. There is no other district where we know it's going to be anti-Mamdani everywhere. So come out there and support us. And
Play that music.
See you next week, everybody. We are definitely done. We went even overtime.
Oh,
so
wow.
About 2 more minutes.